Join me as I get rid of the dead weight.
All right, everyone, we know it's that time of year. We've all overindulged in cardboard and plastic over the holiday season, and it's time that we trim the fat a little bit. I know all you guys in the board game hobby are trying to look like you're trying out for an episode of Hoarders, but not me. I try to keep my collection pretty slim, um, and I would rather just sell the games and get some new games. Money is not infinite, so why just sit around with the dead wheat? Try to get rid of it, get some new games. I like uh I like doing the trade at Origins also, even on BGG. Get rid of them, get some new ones, get some games that are going to get some play. It's not about who has the biggest board game collection, you know. Some of these people have 1,000 games in their collection. You're not going to play any of them. So get rid of them. Get it down to where you can actually play your games. Get rid of that shelf of shame. If it ain't been out in 2 years, it's got to go. At least that's the way I go. So the first one, this is probably my biggest disappointment of a game. Not gonna lie, I got this for Christmas 2 years ago, and Deep Sea Adventure was kind of a dud for me. You're basically just gonna put these tokens out, and it's kind of like a little bit of push your luck where you're moving down, taking treasures, and as you take treasures, there's a little shared oxygen tank where all the longer you guys stay out, the less oxygen there's. But realistically, I found with the game, there's not that much push your luck. You really don't get that far, and it's almost like every time anybody goes deep, they don't make it back. So I mean, it's not that fun. I'd rather play any push your luck game, honestly. I mean, Flip Seven's way better. Any kind of party game, really. I mean, Captain Flip, that has a little bit of pusher luck. I mean, honestly, I'd rather play Uno. This game was definitely a dud, and for what it cost, my wife bought it. It was a funny story. She bought it for like 20 some bucks, and she was like, "I think I bought you the wrong game." I was like, "Seriously?" I was like, "I think there's only one of them," and she's like, "Well, did I buy you the mini version?" So, we had a good chuckle of it because it costs a lot of money for what you get. I mean, 20 some bucks for that, definitely not worth it. I was not a big fan. I don't know, maybe other people like it. We found that we were not getting very far, so there was not that much push your luck. So yeah, it's getting called away. It was a dud for me. One of my biggest disappointments. The next one, Radlands here. People love this game. Um, it's okay. Two players head to head. You're basically gonna get some camps, and you share a deck of cards. Um, Post-apocalyptic theme. You have water. Water is a resource, but you're basically going to be playing. The fun part of the game is you're going to pick your camp that you want, and you'll get three camps. Your opponent will get three camps, and then you kind of have like a shared area where your stuff's ticking down and their stuff's ticking down. There's like 3 rows with your bases, and they have 3 rows, and you have to get what's out of their rows to get to the bases and destroy them. Pretty cool theme. I mean, I like the art, but when it comes down to it, it was just all about tempo. I felt like sometimes, like once you get behind, there's no real way to come back. So I don't know. I'd rather play Beer and Bread. I'd rather play, just a lot of different games. Um, yeah, it was kind of a dud for me. Seven Wonders Duel, Shards of Affinity. I do like that quite a bit. Splendor Duel. I just like them way better than this, so it's got to go. People like it. I'm not hating on it, but it just wasn't for me. This one here, kind of. I actually kind of like this game overall. John DeClaire is one of my favorite designers, and this is kind of like Space, but in reverse. Everything is collapsing. Everything's getting destroyed. So you'll have uh, 12 cards in front of you, and as a card will come up, you have to bid against it, kind of like no thanks. But the person that takes it has to destroy whatever card it is. So it's always a bad thing. So it'd be like destroy your number 8. Well, the problem with that is you want your number 8 because you have combos with that, kind of like in Space. So you're getting rid of it, but whoever takes that will take all the resources that everybody else. So like I'll say, well, I don't want that, so I'll pay a gold, so I don't have to take it, or I'll pay an X, so I don't have to take it. So the most of the problem I've had with this is most of the people I played it with did not really like it, unfortunately. And the production is very well. You get these cases. I mean, that holds all the player stuff, your resources, has a nice little board here. Your cards are nice. They have like little space cards. Overall, I mean, it's a good game, but the problem is if people don't like their stuff burning down, people aren't going to like that game, and that's kind of what I found with this game. I had one person who played it, they pretty much quit halfway through. And then I had another person who played it, they said they didn't really care for it at all. The game sucked. There was nothing but bad choices. But that's part of the game. The part of the game is you have to make bad choices, but you hope to make the least bad choice. So I don't know. I thought it was okay, but my game group doesn't like it, so it's got to go. And it's not like you could play it solo. So yeah, unfortunately, it's gonna go. And like I said, John DeClaire is one of my favorite board game designers. This is like a combo deal here. These two games. I like these games as a solo game. Trying to play them, though, is too hard with people. I tried to teach a game to somebody. They just take too long. I started with Legends, and I found Legends to be way too complicated because every faction has a different win con, and they're all asymmetric. And some of these are crazy. I actually watched a designer play this with the co-designer, and their game took like 2.5 hours, which is insane. I mean, for a two-player game, it's just insane. So how are you going to teach that? And by the time you play it, and that's 2 players, you should never play this game with more than 2 players. And honestly, it's super good a solo game. I really do like the solo game, but honestly, Imperium Classics is enough by far. The Legends I found to be way too complicated for what I want out of a game like this. But overall, the components were okay. These components I found were a little, I don't know, underwhelming. But the card quality wasn't terrible. And I think they each come with 8 factions, which is actually, that's a lot. There's a lot of game in here. You can get a lot of plays out of this. But the problem is, you got to have someone to play this with. And I would only play it 2 players. So that is the main problem with it. Other than that, I mean, they're good games, but once again, if something's going to take that long for a 2 player game only, 2 player games are hard to hit to the table, anyways, at least in my group. And games that take that long to teach and that long to play, I would rather just play Twilight Struggle, honestly. Like, if I'm going to play a 3 hour game, I'll play Twilight Struggle, I'll play Star Wars Rebellion, um, or I'm going to play light 2 player games like Beer and Bread, stuff like that. So, unfortunately, good games, too much, too hard to get to the table unless you're going to have a dedicated group of people that will want to play this. And unless you have a group that's going to play, 3 hour card games, then yeah, otherwise I would pass on these, unfortunately. And I was super excited. I haven't tried the new one. I think it's uh, the Star Trek Captain's Chair. I would be interested in trying that. I heard it's a little bit easier to get to the table. But once again, if it's anything like that, then there's no way. And this one's kind of a bummer too here. Nucleum. Everybody loves this game. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people do talk very well about it. But once again, I have a 3x4 table. And let's just say I tried to set this game up on it. I needed another table. That's how big this game is. I mean, look at the box. It is just jammed. I will say the components are nice. But here's the problem. This game is not easy to learn. It is 26 pages. And look at this. Not that many pictures, just wall of text. Okay. And then there's 4 players, and they are all asymmetric starting ability boards. So you have to teach that. And I mean, look at this. I mean, this is just not an easy game to teach. I didn't even want to learn this game, honestly. That's why I'm getting rid of it. I'd never even played it. I've had it for like 3 years now. Whenever it came out, I got it. I said, "Oh, I want a heavy game." So this one looked pretty cool, neat theme. But once again, I mean, that's just a doozy. And the solo rules, 12 pages of solo rules. I mean, not a chance. I like my solo games to be pretty easy, quick on the rules. But look at that. Yeah, not a chance. I mean, it is a beautiful game when it's set up. I mean, they got some cool challenges too here. But yeah, this game is just it's a lot. I mean, have to, you have your technologies, everybody has different ones. I think some of them kind of repeat on some boards, but yeah, I mean, this game is just it's a beast. This is the first game I never usually I'm pretty good with reading rules. This is the first game I set up and I was just like, I don't know if I even want to attempt to learn this because the problem is the first play they said too, first play is over 3 hours, and that's a hard sell. The play to learn it, it's going to take me 2 hours to learn it. Then if I get it to the table, let's say I learn it and I don't get it to the table that week, then I gotta freshen up on it. And then even when I get it to the table, I mean I've got to play this game like 2 3 times in a row to make sure I have it down. And realistically, 3 times, even at 2 players, they said it's like 3 hours. I mean, I don't know, unless you can get it down faster, but that's just crazy. 3 plays of this would be over 9 hours. I would just rather play a bigger, heavy game. I don't mind heavy games. I would just prefer games that are heavy, that are quick teaches, and a lot of gameplay in there. And this is not one of them. This is a heavy teach, long game, it's just not going to get to the table. So yeah, I mean, I even I have somebody who was thinking about getting it. I was going to sell it to him, and then he looked up. He was looking at the rules, and he was like, "Oh boy, never mind." And he's a heavy gamer too. So yeah, he basically said, "Nah, not a chance." He said it's just not going to hit the table. So unfortunately, Nucleum has got to go, and that is part one of my purge. I'm definitely going to have a number two because I am running out of room and I have some big box games that are probably going to get purged next. But the problem is I would like to keep them so that I could play them with my son. But realistically, I'd have to keep it for like 5 6 7 years. And I don't know if it's even worth it. So yeah, let me know if I made the wrong choices here. Let me know if you like any of these games. Nucleum's one that one's a heartbreaker. That one stinks to get rid of. Let me know if you guys like it, and let me know if you can shrink the time down before I get rid of it because, like I said, it just seems like a beast. It's just not even worth it. In solo modes by David Turtsey, I do like him. He did the solo mode for Imperium Classics, which it is a good solo mode. Like I said, it's just honestly, I would just play this solo. I wouldn't even play it with anybody else. So, but the problem is this solo mode is just too complex. So, with that, we'll leave it with that, and that's part one of the purge. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Subscribe.